This is the worst kind of revenge imaginable. The woman's mouth was stuffed with a cigarette and lit, and in an instant thick smoke surged straight into her skull, suffocating her alive. After she died, the masked figure moved to the next woman. He pressed speakers tightly against her ears and cranked the volume to maximum. Within seconds, her bilateral tympanic membranes ruptured, her eardrums shattered, her brain reduced to mush. But he still wasn't satisfied. He pulled out a stun baton and pressed it against the metal frame connecting all the shop owners. The current surged through the structure, sending every body into violent convulsions. The story begins with 6 people regaining consciousness. They are seated on the ground, backs pressed against a metal frame. Their hands are chained and cuffed to the structure, immobilized. White cloth covers their eyes and mouths, leaving them blind and mute. Panic sets in. They struggle, but it's useless. Footsteps echo from the doorway. The killer appears. He calmly pulls a stun baton from his pocket, switches it on, and presses it against the metal frame. The electric current rips through the metal. Their bodies jerk uncontrollably. Toes curl so violently it feels like their nails might tear off. The shock continues until no one can endure it any longer. Only then does the masked figure turn off the power. He walks around, removing their blindfolds one by one. In a cold voice, he says they have all caused unforgivable harm to others, and that only by confessing their wrongdoing to the teacher will they be allowed to leave alive. Suddenly, thick smoke floods the room. Several people pass out within seconds. When they wake again, the cloth over their mouths is gone, but metal plates now block both sides of their heads. Iron chains clamp tightly around their necks. They cannot turn or see around them. From the voices they hear, they realize they are strangers to one another. So why are they tied together? Hot-headed Chen Wei begins cursing loudly. The masked man re-enters. He slowly squats in front of Chen Wei, makes a shushing gesture, then presses the electric baton to his neck without hesitation. The shock makes Chen Wei convulse. The others are zapped as well. Fortunately, the masked man does not continue long. He warns them that time is running out. Fear spreads. Li Fun, a heavy-set woman, is the first to speak. She confesses that she once spit in her mother's food and has felt guilty ever since. Ma Guoqiang admits he cheated in his marriage. His wife never found out. Seeing others speak up, Wang Xiaomei confesses she was a homewrecker, using her looks to seduce wealthy married men. Zhao Lihua says she drained her parents' savings, leaving them with nothing even for their own funeral. But these are not the answers the masked man wants. He shocks them again in warning. Their scalps sting and tingle painfully. Eventually, the baton runs out of power. The masked man says none of them have given the correct answer. The terrible crime, he hints, connects all 6 of them. He leaves, saying he will return after recharging the device. After he leaves, Li Fan analyzes his words. She believes they must have committed the same crime. But as they think it over, confusion sets in. They don't know each other. Their lives never overlap. How could they share the same wrongdoing? After arguing with no conclusion, short-tempered Chen Wei suggests focusing on escape instead. Zhang Ming says that while struggling earlier, he felt the iron frame shaking. If they push together, maybe they can move it. Li Fan quickly dismisses the idea. Even if they move the frame, without a key, they cannot unlock the chains. They continue arguing. Suddenly, the masked man walks back in, carrying a bucket filled with ballpoint pens. He steps behind Zhang Ming, grabs a pen, and drives it down hard. Zhang Ming's scream fills the room. The others nearly lose control of their bladders from fear. The masked man keeps stabbing. Again and again, the screams grow louder, then abruptly stop. Zhang Ming's body is covered in pins. He is no longer breathing. The others cannot move or see clearly. They don't know exactly what has happened, but terror keeps them silent. Smoke fills the room again. Darkness. When they awaken, something has changed. The chain on their right hands is undone. Each of them now has one free hand. Ma Guoqiang realizes they are attached to a circular disc mechanism. He suggests turning it clockwise together. They begin to rotate it. Suddenly, Wang Xiaomei screams. She has seen something horrifying, but escape is their priority. They ignore her and keep turning. When Chen Wei reaches her position, his face pales. On the ground lies a severed finger with a pin stabbed through it. Chen Wei quickly pulls out the pin and hides it behind his back. He plans to ambush the masked man when he returns. Soon enough, the masked man re-enters and squats directly in front of him. Seizing the moment, Chen Wei thrusts the pin toward the masked man's neck, but the masked man twists away just in time. The pin grazes his shoulder. No serious damage. Chen Wei lowers his head, bracing for retaliation. Strangely, the masked man does not appear angry. Instead, he calmly places a sheet of paper and a pin beside each of them. He says that someone here wants to confess, but is too afraid to speak aloud. They could write their crimes down. At last, several of them understood why their right hands had been freed. The masked man didn't seem obsessed with money or pleasure. Zhao Lihua quickly offered cash, saying her parents would absolutely pay a large ransom. Wang Xiaomei added that if they let her go, she could not only bring money but offer herself anything they wanted. The masked man remained unmoved. He didn't care about money. He didn't care about women. He wanted the answer. Once he had it, he said they would be free. When a few of them tried bargaining again, he shocked them with the stun baton, released another wave of smoke, and moved on to the next round of judgment. After an unknown stretch of time, they woke to a loud crash. Ma Guoqiang immediately shut his eyes and whispered for everyone to stay still. Every time they woke, the masked man came to judge them. So this time, they pretended to remain unconscious. Using the background noise in the room as cover, they quietly tried to plan an escape. As they whispered, Wang Xiaomei noticed something dripping beside her. Blood. They had been talking for a while, yet Zhao Lihua hadn't spoken once. Xiaomei called out softly. No response. The scene shifted. Zhao Lihua sat there with 2 speakers strapped tightly to her head. At some point during the blackout, she had become the next to be judged. Just then, the masked man entered again. Everyone tensed as he prepared to drag the body away. Ma Guoqiang saw the corpse clearly this time. The condition of it made his stomach twist. The others couldn't see, but they understood enough. Out of the original 6, only 4 remained. Who would be next? The uncertainty shattered Wang Xiaomei's composure. She screamed at the masked man, demanding to know why.
죽이는 이유가 뭔데? 이유라도 알려줘. 그래야지 우리가 반성을 하든 말든 할 거 아니야. 어?
내가 그게 진짜 궁금하다니까. 누군가에게 평생 기억할 것을 만들어 놓고 정작 당사자는 아무 기억을 못해.
The masked man's answer stunned them all. Ma Guoqiang quickly asked for more clues, but the masked man ignored him and walked out. Smoke sprayed into the room again. Before losing consciousness, they heard one last instruction. Write down the worst, most evil thing you've ever done, or someone else will die. When they woke again, the metal plate blocking their vision had been removed. For the first time, they could clearly see their surroundings. Everyone except Wang Xiaomei. Her mouth was crammed full of cigarettes. To hold them in place, her entire face had been coated with super glue. The masked man calmly squatted before her. He pulled out a lighter, ignited every cigarette at once. Thick smoke poured into her lungs. Her body writhed. Her expression twisted in agony. The smoke filled her mouth, her throat, her chest. Under the masked man's steady gaze, she suffocated within moments. She died in front of them. There wasn't much time left. The masked man stepped out briefly. The remaining three frantically began confessing everything, shouting their crimes, trying to beat whatever countdown remained. When Ma Guoqiang woke again, the chain around his neck was unlocked. He quickly shook the other two awake. Only three remained now. If they didn't fight back, there might never be another chance. Before they could form a plan, the masked man entered again, this time holding a spiked club. He slowly approached Chen Wei. Just as he raised it to strike, Ma Guoqiang deliberately shouted insults, trying to provoke him, calling him a coward, a pervert hiding behind a mask. If you've got guts, fight me face to face. The masked man ignored him. The club came down, again and again and again. Chen Wei was crushed under the relentless blows. The masked man turned toward the remaining two. Suddenly, he grabbed his throat. His body convulsed violently. Then he collapsed, dead. Ma Guoqiang cautiously nudged him with his foot. No movement. He bent down and removed the mask. The man's mouth was sealed shut with glue. A photograph was stuck to his face, but the image revealed nothing useful. Still, the face looked familiar. Ma Guoqiang froze. This was someone from junior high, a classmate he hadn't contacted in years. Before he could process it, Li Fan spoke up. She said she had attended the same school. She even confessed she once wrote love letters to Ma Guoqiang back then. Ma Guoqiang said he didn't remember her at all and told her now wasn't the time for reminiscing. They searched frantically. Li Fan grabbed a lock and smashed it repeatedly against the metal frame. Then she noticed something inside a candle. A key. Ma Guoqiang blew out the flame and tried to grab it, but it was too hot. It slipped from his fingers. Li Fan quickly picked it up, unlocked her own handcuffs, and without hesitation, ran. Ma Guoqiang stood there stunned. As she fled, she kept muttering, "I'm sorry." The truth unraveled. Li Fan had planned everything. Everyone punished in that room had been from the same middle school class. Over 10 years ago, Li Fan had been a boy. He had fallen in love with Ma Guoqiang and written him a confession letter. Ma Guoqiang showed it to Wang Xiaomei and Zhao Lihua. Soon, the entire school knew. They mocked him, bullied him, humiliated him relentlessly. Eventually, he was forced to drop out. He disappeared, changed his name, spent a fortune on plastic surgery, altered his personality. But no matter what he changed, he could never erase that humiliation. That was the seed of today's revenge. When Ma Guoqiang understood the truth, he fell to his knees, begging. But forgiveness meant nothing now. Those memories had carved too deeply. Li Fan switched on the electric baton and watched him convulse in agony. She had waited years for this moment. Her revenge was complete, but she had no intention of surviving it. This time, instead of knockout smoke, she released poison gas. As the room filled, she stood there watching him. At last, the two of them would remain together forever. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification to get updates on the next part. Also like, comment, and share. Thanks for watching.